Hello, my name is Holden Bender, and this is my FBA and BIP summarization. Let's take a look at our student's information. This is John D. He's in the 10th grade, age 15, attends Dodsworth High School. This has been created by me, Holden Bender. And let's take a quick look at his summary. After speaking with his teacher, John's behavior in class, the teacher has explained there is a family structure in place where John does not live with his mom or dad. He is staying with his aunt and uncle. There is a support system in place for John as there are academic strengths that he possesses, showing he can achieve high in class regarding class assignments and test scores. However, John does get easily distracted by other students, and that leads to physical and verbal disruptions in the classroom. The teacher has indicated that John has been issues with PTSD and that this can lead to inappropriate behaviors in the classroom. Now let's move on to the actual observation. Upon observing the class lasting 81 minutes on a block rotation, I was focusing on how John entered the room and how his environmental interactions occurred. John came into the classroom. He was being disruptive, verbally shouting out to the class with random words and causing disruptions to upset the class from the beginning. Continuing on through the class, the teacher was able to redirect and have the student take a seat. John would be able to sit in his seat for more than 20 to 30 minutes without having to get up and walk around in the classroom. Afterward, throughout the class, John was able to still sit and go through the lesson, but towards the end, when the bell was about to ring, 10 minutes prior, there was a shift in his behavior. He was ready to pack up and go, but he would walk over to another student that he purposely does not get to sit next to in class, and they together don't work that well. And this caused more disruptions and outbursts for the teacher to have to leave their station and address the situation. Looking over the data, this was a duration collection, and I recorded down on my graphs the breakdown of the noted the times of behavior. One was towards the first bit of the class, in the middle, and the end. Some reinforcement strategies that I did see. The teacher did attempt some reinforcement where there was a verbal reinforcement, walking over to John, trying to speak with him one-on-one instead of calling out in front of the class, trying to redirect, having him take a seat. For another instant, the teacher did try to use more gesture reinforcement, trying to use the look that a teacher gives to the student when they know they are misbehaving or they need to correct their actions. And that didn't have him sit back down in his seat. The last one I saw was, again, the teacher did another verbal warning to the student, try to redirect. The functional hypothesis. After spending the time discussing with the teacher prior to witnessing a full class session of John's behavior, there is a possibility of two ABA functions with his target behavior, seeking attention standards out as John is wanting acceptance with his peers and or teachers due to the background history, possibly neglect or a sense of acceptance and or being noticed. The data stands out. John is interrupting the class, getting up out of the seat to try to interact with other students, and he be focused on assignments at hand. Overall, the target behavior is to seek attention. Moving on to the data, if we look, I recorded on April the 13th, and you can see at the beginning of class it was a 10-minute length, and we had another one in the middle of class that would last 4 minutes, where he would get up out of his seat, interrupting the class, and at the end of class, moving over to that one student. And as we can tell, there was large increments of time between the first and the last, and in the middle, it was handled quickly. Moving on to the BIP, I believe that the behavior is combined with physical and verbal aggression, and he's primarily wanting to seek attention. John is in the classroom having a hard time sitting still in his seat, although throughout the day, he will make loud call-outs verbally as well as interact with other students, hitting that student, but not forcefully. So that the student he can't be around, he likes to really go over there in front of everybody and just try to play fight or something of that nature, and it's just not acceptable in the classroom. The students do show awareness. Sensitivity may appear distracted. But I did want to provide positive feedback to the student, saying if you can try to talk with this student, this may eliminate entering the class or causing disruptions, as having a positive conversation with the teacher at the doorway maybe, and help intervene and change the attitude the student might have. This could lead to the student hit the reset button and start fresh with a new class. Behavior also becomes focused and directed toward engaging others in a negative interaction. When the student is verbal, using a calm voice, this may benefit de-escalating the situations, and using a calm but serious tone can change the outlook of how the student interacts with the teacher. Moving on, some potential reinforcers. I think that this is attention-based and it is more for adult approval, behavior-specific, and praising, maybe positive notes, call home, talk to parents, maybe get that immediate feedback, develop more student-teacher rapport, and also seeking peer approval, trying just to be like acceptance among his own peers, trying to be fitting in. Some interventions and strategies. Give reinforcement non-cognitive. This is for the teacher. This provides the tools to seek the student's attention they may be seeking, as well as this could create a better teacher-student rapport to prevent future outbursts. Increase predictability in the room. I think if there's more consistency with lesson prep, more structure in the room from beginning to bell to end of bell, you're going to see less disruptions in the classroom, especially providing expectations visually on a board on the front of the room, going over this with the class. They know what the expectation is right out the door, and the teacher presents in front of the students and gets their attention, all their eyes on the teacher. There is a change of the physical environment. This is for the teacher. Change up the layout of the room, benefiting a more learning-focused environment. So change up the way the seats are arranged and make it more focused on where the teacher, or how the teacher primarily gives out lecture in the class. Some teaching strategies. Frequently reteach behavior expectations. I think it's good to try to use this for the consistency in the classroom, having visuals always at the beginning of class, always go over what the expectation is for the day, and go over maybe behavior. Just try to remind the students, like, the more you repeat, the better. Provide choices whenever possible, and giving the students choices so they feel responsible, or give a choice at all. So having a way to give a student something to do, something to feel important, maybe that could help. Provide movement breaks for the student, allowing that time to walk clear their mind. This allows the student to maybe walk, reset, come back to the classroom with limited disruptions. Maybe a movement break is needed. Some consequence strategies maybe. Ensure expectations can be demonstrated. So, visuals in sight for the student to see, understand the rules and expectations of class. So if they don't follow expectations, make sure you as the teacher are following up on this. Frequent praise when meeting expectations. So always, if a student does follow the desired behavior, please provide positive corrective feedback for problematic behavior, because this can encourage the student to do better each class. Positive communication home. Call home when a student shows growth in class or when there may be concerns. Primarily, I would want to do a positive contact, just because if the student hears this or the feedback gets out there, you develop a better relationship and the student's going to be more understanding and behaving better in the classroom. Consequence strategies to be used when target behavior occurs. Verbal praise when student follows directions. Relocate to the quiet environment outside the classroom. Call administration if trigger behaviors continue for 3 to 5 minute time frame. So if the teacher's tried redirection, they've tried de-escalating, trying to reset the student, but there's still constant disruptions, alert administration to come take the student out of class. A safety plan is not necessary, no need, but in case there is a trigger in the classroom, immediately dial the to the in-school suspension to alert the administration to come to that classroom. And that wraps up our BIP for John. Thank you very much and have a good day.